Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome, Kansas Raceway, Kansas Speedway, whatever. Here on V-Speed, I'm Eddie Smith, and you're watching Apex Sim Racing E-Series Showdown, presented by Apex Sim Racing Custom Gear. And Kansas Speedway, one of the best tracks on the surface. Boy, I used to hate this place, and they changed the way the lines run. This place is now fast, it's fun. Got multiple grooves, multiple lines, a lot of ways to have a good time, and that's what we're going to have here tonight. It's all about a good time here in Apex, and we are set for a really fun race for sure as we are into the playoffs. Already a couple races in, 3 to be exact. Kansas is the cutoff race for the next round. And you look here at the folks trying to make it into that race, into the top 8. So we've got quite a few folks that will be on that bubble and trying to make it in to the top 8. Tonight's your last chance. And we're going to see who is on that bubble spot and who can make it in, who moves on to the next round. I think the next round will be incredibly exciting as there are definitely 8 drivers that can win a championship. So it's going to be fun too. Comes away with the victory tonight, maybe could lock themselves in. That would be pretty sweet if we could see something like that. Tracy Passons has already done that. He won at Bristol, and then you got Jonathan Cofield winning at Milwaukee. So you can go ahead and pencil those guys in. I guess you could pin it in because you're not going to erase it. Unless, I don't know, they run over somebody and get disqualified. I don't know. That's definitely possible. But it's going to be a fun one here tonight. I can't wait to see how this is all going to play out. Take a look at your grid, see where everybody's going to start here tonight. Garrett Kinder on the front row for the Peg Leg Pole Award. And we're going to go through the Low Cash Motorsports starting grid. Garrett Kinder is on the front row with Aaron Adcock in that number 17 machine. He will start in the second position. Row number 2. Going to be Matt Rogers. What a great time for him. Alan Nash in the 4th. 5th, going to be Tracy Passett, Alan Smith in 6th. 7th, going to be Chuck Phelps with Brandon Wallace in 8th. And 9th, Anthony Edgerton and Charles Stevens rounds out the top 10. Jonathan Cofield in 11th. Michael Kostick in 12th. 13th, going to be Daniel Cunningham. And Josh Lukovitz is in 14th. That's your Low Cash Motorsports starting grid as we're getting ready to get this thing rolling, get some green flag racing, and this is going to put on a great show. I think you can expect some long green flag runs. That is for sure. As for some reason, we don't have sound, but guess what? Bam. We got sound. It's back. Getting ready to go green here. Garrett Kinder going to lead us down to the green flag. Barney has got the flag in his hands, and green flag is out here at Kansas. Great start for Garrett Kinder and Aaron Adcock, who were able to get out ahead of Alan Nash there and kind of got a little 2-car breakaway. This track is very draft heavy, but you can see Boss Man not willing to wait around. He's going to go side by side. Is he going to be able to clear him? He does. Little crossover from Garrett. No, he's going to push him. So Aaron Adcock wants to get in the lead very quickly and get out front to that clean air. Here at Kansas, down at the bottom is fast early, but you'll see everybody start to migrate up to the top, I do believe. We'll find out what guys decide to do. You might run the bottom for the whole run to save a little bit of tire. Who knows? But you have the option. That's the beautiful part about Kansas Speedway. You can see it's the quintessential 1.5 miler, 17-degree banking, although it is progressive. One of the newer tracks on the circuit. You get up towards that higher line, you got more banking as it goes up. You can see Alan Nash up there using that top line. It is fast, and you get big runs off the corner, but it does burn the tires up. Now, you might be wondering, well, you used the outside there and lost the spot. Well, the trucks, you can stay wide open for quite a few laps. But once you have to start lifting, that outside line becomes so much faster. So early on, it's down on the bottom. And then as the run goes on, tires start to wear, start to creep up to the top side. And you're going to find that passing going to be pretty difficult once you start doing that. If somebody parks it on the outside, it's going to be real tough to make those moves. We're going to find out, though, who can make that happen. Take a look at your race analysis. 120 laps here tonight. 4 tire sets. That's something to think about. Green, white, checkered attempt, I think it's 2. 75% fuel load. Big setup in that stage break at lap 30. So lots of points to be made up here. If you can finish in the top 5 here at Apex, top 5 pays out stage points, and those are incredibly important for the standings. But right now, 4-car breakaway, and then you go back to Charles Stevens where it is just a cluster, you know what. See, Matt Rogers has dropped back from his 3rd place starting position, and Chuck Phelps moved up to 6th here. He is on the back bumper of Charles Stevens, trying to make something happen as Matt Rogers going to look down to the inside as Matt gets a run. And now Chuck going to have to fight back on the outside. Right behind him, you can see Alan Smith in that 3 machine as he is trying to work his way up towards the front. He's falling back. Oh, he gets a little bit loose there on the front stretch. Alan Smith, though, hangs on to it. But that's going to open the door for Kostick as he goes to the outside. That Ford truck going around the outside along with Josh Lekovitz, who gets a nice big run. And he's going to follow him right through. So Alan Smith going to fall back to the 10th position, although he is fighting hard here down on the bottom. But you're starting to see that outside line come alive. As soon as you have to lift off the throttle, that outside line becomes stronger and stronger as that continues. And the 75% fuel load, I think that'll happen a lot quicker than usual. Almost 3 wide here as Alan Smith is going to make it 3 wide. Yeah, they are coming off the corner. Matt Rogers way up the track, and they're still 3 wide. Lokovitz going to clear. Alan Smith going to come along with Brandon Wallace in tow. Big movers so far. Kostick up 5 position since the start of this race. And Charles Stevens, also another driver who has moved up through the field, and he is trying to get up towards the front. He's leading this sort of second pack, trying to get a little bit of that draft from Alan Nash. He's about 9/10 of a second back. That's still enough to kind of grab a little bit of that draft. And if Chuck will work with him, they can actually push themselves up towards that front pack. So if he can get a little bit of that draft, that might be enough to get him caught back up and get up there with that lead pack and just kind of start to ride and try to save some tire and fuel. But right now, he's going to do a little bit of work to make that happen as he's trying to keep pace. So you see everybody kind of getting single file here at the moment. Now, top 8 will move on into the next round. And right now, the top 8 is pretty much all tied up. You've got Brandon Wallace right on the cutoff. He's running back in the 12th position. And Michael Kostick is actually, because he missed a race, he is about 18 points behind the cutoff. So if he can get up here, get some playoff, get some of these stage points, that's what he needs to try to do, get up in the top 5. He can get up there. He can try to get himself up into that top 8, but he can still win, I think, and get in, I would imagine. I think he does make the minimum amount of races needed. It's pretty close, but I think he does. And so he might be able to make it in. Tracy Passons is locked in. Actually, Michael Gossick is going to need a lot. No, Alan Smith and Brandon Wallace are tied. So all Michael has to do is get in front of at least one of them, because Tracy Passons is locked in, and he is currently 10th in points. But he's locked into the next round. So it's going to be a nice little battle here. We'll see how it all plays out once everything is settled. But those stage points are going to be a big deal here in about 15 laps. Up front, Aaron Adcock still leads the way, although Garrett Kinder is looking down to the inside. Adcock with the run off the top side. You can see the run that he's going to get down the straightaway. Look how he pulls Garrett Kinder. But how long can you do it? I think going up there to the top seems like it's pretty early. I think I would wait a little bit longer, maybe further down the run here. But they're the ones driving. They know what the truck feels like. They know what feels good to them. And, you know, if you're going to factor in fun factor, top, there's no doubt. It's way more fun than running the bottom of the middle here at Kansas. And I think Kansas is one of those that doesn't punish you as much as other tracks. Like Bristol will punish you if you run the top for the whole run. It will really start to fade towards the end of a run. And a couple other tracks are similar, but here at Kansas, it seems like you can really run that top side for quite a while and it not really be a huge negative at the end of these runs. So it just depends on the setup and how the track is kind of affecting the way this thing drives. I mean, the lower fuel level is obviously a negative for the top side. You see Garrett Kinder actually going to get into the wall there, getting really close. But you can see the track 81 degrees. It's really cool. So they're not going to be searching for grip, that's for sure. So I doubt they're going to be able to try to work that thing loose. If the track temp was in the hundreds, you can work that outside and actually make the truck a little bit looser, I think. But with this track temp, you're not going to be able to do that. Got battles going on all over the track. Chuck Phelps, Josh Lokovitz battling. This is for the 7th position. Lokovitz started all the way in the back, and he is trying to move himself up towards the front. He definitely seems like he has a pretty fast piece. Up on that outside, he's keeping those RPMs wound up and able to take over that spot. So move Josh Lokovitz up into the 7th position. Lokovitz not a playoff driver, I don't think. Oh, he is. He's in 15th position in points, so he's going to need a lot of help. He's really going to need a win to move on to the next round, because he is quite a few points outside the cutoff. But Aaron Adcock, I mean, a storyline to talk about. I mean, the guy leading the race right now, he has to win to get in. He is currently sitting outside of that top 8, and a lot of points back, not enough to point himself in. So if he can get a stage win here, that's going to be massive for the 17, and it's likely he's going to have to win himself in. So we already saw the 17 be aggressive early on, trying to get around Garrett Kinder. And there's the reason why. He has to get up here and get this win to move on to the next round. So Aaron got a lot to race for here tonight. Kansas, one of his better tracks, I think, for sure. It may not be the track he likes the most, but it's definitely one that he performs well at. So it's a good opportunity as any for him to get that win. But right now, Garrett Kinder sits at the top of the standings just by points alone. Obviously, Cofield and Tracy Passons locked in. And Garrett Kinder, Daniel Cunningham, Charles Stevens sitting there in 3rd position in points. He's had a great season. He is looking to move on. Cofield obviously moving on. Chuck Phelps, don't talk enough about him so far this season, but he sits there pretty solid in the top 8. I think he just needs to finish the race inside the top 10, and he'll be fine. But then you've got Alan Nash, you've got Alan Smith, Brandon Wallace right there on the cutoff. One of those, Alan Smith, Brandon Wallace, if Kostick doesn't win the race, one of those is going to be knocked out. And if Aaron Adcock wins the race, both of them could be knocked out. So it is a lot to talk about here, a lot of drama that could happen. These cutoff races are some of the most exciting. But folks that are pretty much locked in besides Cofield and Passons, Garrett Kinder, Cunningham, Charles Stevens, they are well above the cut line. They really don't have to worry at all. Now, Chuck Phelps, he is not well enough above the cutoff. He's going to have to be careful. He can't afford to have a terrible race here. So, going to have to be paying attention to that 75 truck if he's going to make it into this next round of the playoffs. But he is still doing okay. Just needs to not have a disastrous night in that number 75 machine. Michael Kostick, though, pushing towards the front. He started all the way in the back. Going to have to win to get in, I would imagine. There are a minimum amount of races that you have to make, and Michael has made 12, and I don't know what the rolling number is at this moment. I guess that's a failure on my part, but I'm not sure if he is eligible, but I would think he is with 12. But we'll find out for sure at the end. Going back here, Cunningham. Daniel Cunningham got a nice looking truck. The Ghost Energy, I tell you, they've got, I mean, you may not like me to saying this, and Ghost Energy will definitely not like me saying this, but Ghost Energy, you know, I don't know, feels kind of like I'm putting, I don't know, like a fuel additive in my body a little bit, but not a huge fan. I haven't tried them all, but I tell you what they do have is a color scheme that is out of this world. The orange one is really amazing, and Daniel has had that paint scheme before. But this one right here is unbelievable. It is really, really nice paint scheme. So if we gave out a paint of the night, I don't know if I could argue with this one. Just an amazing looking paint scheme out of Daniel Cunningham. So I mean, some of these guys really have a knack for it, know exactly how to do these schemes right. And man, that's a trade paint special if I've ever seen one. It's a good looking scheme. So he's pretty much locked into the playoffs. He started in the back. He's trying to move forward. Currently up 5 positions from where he started, up into the 8th spot. So more battling though. Charles Stevens falling through the field. He has consistently been a lot slower. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's saving fuel or if he just burned the tires up early, which is very easy to do if you're not careful. If you overturn those front tires, don't use that throttle to turn the truck. It can easily burn those tires up. And he might have been trying a little bit too hard to stay with that front pack, and starting to fade a little bit here. He does have that stage break in 3 laps. You'll be able to get some new tires on, see him punch back up, and have an opportunity to kind of fix that issue. So we'll see if he can get that done. But up front, all Aaron Adcock. He got out front, has not looked back. Garrett Kinder got up into the wall. He's starting to reel Aaron back in. But I think, honestly, if I know Kansas as well as I do, as long as Aaron continues to run the top and he doesn't get to the wall, I don't think there's a way at this point for Garrett Kinder to get around him. So I think Aaron is still in a pretty good spot to get this stage win. Garrett obviously not going to put either one of them in a bad position. So I think Aaron's going to get those stage points and move himself a little bit closer to that top 8. He's pretty far behind. He's about 19 points back from the top 8. So these stage points will definitely help, but I still think he's got to win to get in. I think even with 14 trucks, stage points might get him pretty close, but I think he's going to have to win. And I think that's what he needs to focus on. Not worry about the points, not try to manipulate points, figure all that out, but just go hard as you possibly can, get the win. You don't have to worry about it at all. He's looking fast enough to do that right now, man. He is really scooting, laying down some of the fastest lap times. The only person that's really faster is Daniel Cunningham, who obviously had a huge draft here on Charles Stevens as he goes around him. But Kostick also puts down a really fast lap time. He is one of the best long-run drivers I've ever seen. But stage is over. And there's your stage winner. Aaron Adcock takes stage win. And he's going to get all those bonus points. And he knows exactly what he needs to do now. He can apply that to this final run to the end. But right now, it's all about pit stops. Pit stops under yellow. Don't want to make a mistake here. Come down pit road. Don't speed. Come out with the lead and continue to lead every single lap. That's his #1 goal here. So that dude wipes Ford F-150. Stage winner here. But pit stops now. Everybody going to go down. Likely 4 tires is the call. I can't imagine you would take 2. I don't think you'd want to save a set here. I think this is trending towards a green flag race. I think trying to do some sort of weird set saving strategy is only going to hurt you. So 4 times fuel going to be the call. Anybody that makes another decision, I think, is really only asking to have an early exit of this race. 17 comes down pit road. They've got a nice little gap here to Tracy Passon, so it'll be either Aaron Adcock or Garrett Kinder comes off pit road first. See, it's almost a 0.2 of a second gap back to Tracy. Well, some cool information coming out of the boss man here today. You see the race off pit road, and man, Aaron going to get that lead as he wins the battle off. Everybody taking 4 tires. Make perfect sense. No fashion pairs used. That's a good sign. But a little announcement tonight. Apex is going to be moving to Sunday nights and going to be next gen racing. Apex has been a truck series for I believe 5 seasons now, since COVID basically, and now going to change it up a little bit with the folding of Sunoco. I think some folks were looking to try to get grouped up here. I mean, this series, everybody in here knows this, but I'm just going to say the thing we all know, which is this series is just a family friend type series. It's not super competitive. It is super competitive, but nobody is we're not losing friendships over this. This is just virtual racing. And so this is a great atmosphere. I love every driver that's on the track right now. Big fans of all these guys. So it's just a great place to race, great group to hang out with, laugh with. It's such a good time. And they're going to move it to Sunday night so we can all race together in the next gen. Had some folks trying to make it in Sunoco that we could all kind of get linked up. And now that that's all gone, Apex going to make their own next gen series on Sunday night. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun to try something new, move it to a Sunday night that I think should be pretty healthy for the league, but we'll find out. It's going to be fun, and yours truly will likely be racing it, which I'm excited about. So love racing these guys. I like watching, but it's kind of like being the kid at the playground. Everybody's on the the merry-go-round, the monkey bars, and you're sitting there drinking a juice box just watching. That's kind of what this is like. So I cannot wait to get out there on the monkey bars with these guys and go next gen racing. But we're going actual racing right now as the pace truck pulls off stage number 2, getting underway here. Aaron Adcock leads us down, led almost every single lap in stage 1. He gets a great start there as Kinder kind of drops back to Tracy, who gets right on his back bumper, but green flag back out. Less than 100 laps to go in this race. Now is the time. If you are going to try to get up to the front, you better make these first 5 laps count. And I think we're going to see some aggressive driving out of some of these folks. Right down to the bottom, you see how that's all playing out. Everybody was up at the top at the end of that last run, now down at the bottom. And right now, it's tough. This is one of the toughest positions to be in because you really can't lift here. If you lift, you're going to lose 2 or 3 spots because you're basically wide open. You might lift just a little bit, but you're basically wide open. And so if you lift to try to let somebody in, be nice, you're going to end up losing a couple spots. So that makes this tough. You get a run on you, buddy. You got to take it because you'll find yourself fighting to hold on to that position. You can see Chuck Feltz and Jonathan Cofield battling side by side. This is for the 8th position. They've been around each other all race long, and Lokovitz thinking about making it 3 wide here on Charles Stevens, but thinks better of it as they continue to run side by side. One of them, I think both these drivers are probably like, hey, if the other guy would let go, let me have this, we could get in single file. And I bet both of them are probably saying that. Chuck sort of in the worst spot at the moment when everybody's running full bore. And oh man, Lokovitz going to make it 3 wide here. Is Chuck going to fall back? Nope, he's going to fall right behind Charles Stevens, and Lokovitz takes the run It goes right down to the bottom. Continue to run side by side as Lokovitz was not able to hold that bottom line through 1 and 2. Falls back into the clutches of Chuck, but Chuck really can't go anywhere because 84 is right in front of him. And I bet Charles Stevens, after that last run, starting to dial it back just a little bit, try to save a little bit of tire so he can be better at the end of this run. I think this is the time, if you're going to save tire, it better be right now. This little three-way battle continues as neither one of them can figure out where they want to go, and you can see the sort of negatives of running side by side. It is tough, and I'll tell you, I get frustrated at this a lot, where you're in this position where drafting early on in these runs is super important, but also positions very, very important. And it takes guys working together and saying, hey, I'm gonna cut you a break, and the guy behind me is gonna cut me a break. We're gonna push and try to get up towards the front. But this running side by side right here, these guys are just killing each other's runs. They're burning their tires up even more, fighting for this position, and they're also losing valuable time to the leaders. So you see Cofield get to the back bumper of Lokovitz. Lokovitz actually going to throw a block and see Cofield coming and said, no, sir, I am going to block this run, as he continues to battle it out, but they just haven't been able to settle it. At some point, you have to settle it and say, you know what, I'm going to have to fall back, get in line, as we're now 2.5 seconds back from the leader. But 2 by 2 right here, nowhere to go, as Lokovitz, Charles Stevens continues to battle side by side here on lap 41. And you can see Cofield nowhere to go here. And there they go, they settle it. Lokovitz pulls right up in front of Chuck. Chuck gives him a little shot. Now that's going to open the door for somebody else. Now they get single file. And if they stay this way, they might have an opportunity to move up towards the front. They've been racing so hard, I can't imagine that anybody's going to just sit back and wait around, especially not the 58. 58, I believe, is still driving on a different rig. I think it's his dad's, I would imagine. I'm not sure if he's got his rig set up just yet, but still happy to have him join us. Still waiting, I think, for win number 10. A dominant season. He's already locked in the playoffs. Really no pressure for him. He's just here. Nothing he does in this race is going to matter, which is such a weird thing, playoffs. But for Cofield, it's just a peace of mind. You don't really have to worry about anything going wrong. No stress at all. You can win the race. You can finish last. He's moving on to the next round. So he's out here just having a good time, having some fun. Here we go, side by side, Lokovitz and Charles Stevens again, as Lokovitz going to go right up to the wall. Try to use that run, and Stevens going to have to give him that position. And Stevens might be in trouble here, as we're already 12 laps into this run. We saw that outside line become pretty dominant later on, and that's starting to transition right now. Now Charles Stevens going to be stuck on the bottom. He really needs to maybe go ahead and let Cofield go and try to sneak in behind him, because if not, Chuck Felt's going to sneak in there and get up there and get around him as well. So Lokovitz looking down to the inside of the 08. Be curious to know what the fuel situation is in these trucks. They had about 90 laps, I think, if my math is correct, and it is. A little bit less than 90, so wondering who can make it on fuel. I mean, if anybody's saving, it's going to be this guy, Brandon Walls. So we'll see. Is he saving fuel? That'll tell us all we need to know. And no, he is not. So it seems like you're going to have to make at least one stop. I can't imagine making it 90 laps on fuel. But so one stop for sure. And going up front, though, Aaron Adcock still with the lead. Garrett Kinder still right behind him. Garrett Kinder, Alan Nash, Tracy Passons, all teammates. So you wonder if there are team orders. I mean, if there's somebody that's going to give team orders, it's going to be the boss man, Aaron Adcock. You're going to give me that win. Now, I don't think he has to do that because I think he's definitely good enough to win on his own, but you got to think these guys would work together. And they've already pulled away from the pack a couple times, just not passing each other, not being side by side over and over again, and using that draft early on to pull away, and they've done a great job of that, not up here battling for no reason. Garrett, Alan Nash, Tracy Passons, all pretty much in the playoffs. Michael Nash is sitting in the 6th position, so he's not completely locked in, but if he finishes where he is definitely going to move on to the next round, no matter what happens. So right now, Aaron, out of the 4 teammates, needs a win likely to move on. So I would imagine they're going to help facilitate that no matter how they can do it. Right now, Aaron doing everything right. He's coming around to click over onto lap 50. Still 70 laps to go. A lot that can happen. And a top 8 playoff spot is on the line. Well, glad to have everybody in chat. We got, who we got in here? We got Kevin Kinder, Ratchet Miller. How about that, boys? Good to see those guys in chat. Brandon Wallace is chatting from the race. Maybe why he's running back in the 10th position. I don't know. Then you got Mark Cofield saying, "Let's go Wallace." That's weird. It's almost like a curse he put on him or something. Very rarely do you hear a Cofield cheer on Brandon Wallace. That may be some like reverse psychology or something like that, like break a leg or something. I don't know. Well, that little bunch that was racing so hard earlier, starting to fall back. Lokovitz has fallen back. Charles Stevens also has fallen back a little bit. And now Cofield and Cunningham starting to come alive here later on in this run. They're about 2.5, almost 3 seconds back from the leaders. And this will be the run to see who's got the best long run speed, that's for sure. Kostic obviously had a great run up through the field. 30 lap wasn't enough for him to get up to the front, but I think Kostic has been faster every single lap so far. He's going to grab that draft in just a moment. He is 0.8 of a second back. That is plenty enough to do that. And man, he working that outside, in those right sides right above in that top seam. And you can see Tracy Passons actually going to make a little bit of contact with the wall, and that's going to draw Kostic right in. He's going to have plenty of momentum to drive around him on the bottom, do a little slide job right in front of him, and Tracy Passon's going to lose that spot. Tracy not willing to let it slide, but I think, unfortunately for Tracy, Kostic is going to have that outside line. We'll see if Tracy tries a little slider. No, not going to work. That Ford truck is going to have the momentum off the top side. There's nothing that Tracy can do at this point. He's going to have to fall behind that 4 and try to draft himself, work with that 4 and move himself up towards the front, catch back up. You can see Kostic all the way against that wall, and it already has bit Garrett Kinder, and it looks like Tracy Passons as well. So it does not take much. It is that's why it's so impressive. You wonder why every time we go to Homestead or Kansas or any of these tracks where you can run against the wall, why is that such a big dang deal? Seems like everybody can do it, man. It is so impressive to be able to do that lap after lap after lap and not make a mistake. Hard to do. So if you can do it, it's well worth the risk here at Kansas. Gonna check lap times at the line and see who is putting down the quickest lap time, and that was Michael Kostick. 32.293. The only two, well, Daniel Cunningham was actually a little bit faster. They ran almost the exact same lap time, so both those drivers really fast here late in this run. Kostick has already got up into the 4th position now. He's got the draft from Alan Nash. Now, it is a little bit of dirty air. That's one thing you have to consider when you go enter in on the top side and you're trying to run that wall. When you have clean air, you have about a second and a half before you get, your second and a half or more behind somebody. You got cleaner air, that downforce on the truck. It's not as, you can run that wall really good, but as you get closer to somebody, that aero weight causes the truck to get a little bit tighter. Not able to get in the corner as well. You're not able to get on the throttle as quickly as you have been. And you're really in real danger in the middle of the corner, sliding up and making contact with that wall. So you have to adjust as you get closer and closer to somebody. And you can see Kostick starting to kind of lean down a little bit. Oh, he's going to get, I thought he was going to get the wall, but he saves it. It looks like Tracy Passons is in the wall, stuck to it, and that's going to open the door for Cunningham, who goes down to the inside. He's going to bring Jonathan Cofield likely with him, but it is about to get busy up front. Oh, man, starting to fall apart a little bit here as Bandits coming to the front. But you can see Kostick there was really, Kostick was really, when he got to the back bumper of Tracy, Alan Nash, he got in that wake. He started to poke that nose out a little bit lower like Kinder is doing right there. Try to get a little bit more downforce. But these two running side by side for second, that's exactly what Kostick wanted to see. See Aaron Adcock out there, but I'll tell you right now, these Bandits guys have got these long runs figured out. Kostick's just going to have to navigate this right here. If he can get around both these guys, he's got enough to get up there and take the lead away, I think, at this point. Kostick down to the bottom. I don't know if that's going to work. Has he saved enough to make the bottom work late on the run? That's going to be difficult. That top side just too strong. You can see the run that Garrett Kinder gets there, almost clears him. So Kostick going to have to weigh the options here. How long is he going to attempt this before he gets back in line? You can see Garrett Kinder going to clear him. That top side just extremely dominant, and Kostick's going to have to really work, I think, to get around both these drivers. I'm going to read, and I quote from Kevin Kinder. Glad, and somebody tell me what this means. As we see Kostick fall back. I was looking down at chat and I missed something here. Let's go back and see what happened. Kostick might have gotten to the wall. Let's go back. Kinder from Ranch Records Rewind. We hadn't had one of those yet. He was right on the back bumper, and I think he got into the wall. Yeah, there it is right there. Got a little piece of that wall, and that's what happens. So Kostick going to fall back to 5th. Cunningham, well, maybe not. I don't know. Cunningham still not able to make that bottom side work. Kostick getting this thing back rolling. But Kevin Kidder said in chat, glad this isn't a Eddie game race. Already 3 in, and then put beer and a sunglass smiley face. So, and then Ratchet Miller said, yup, and then put a bunch of beer things. So if anybody's got any kind of AI that can translate what that means, definitely let me know. But glad this isn't a Eddie game race, already 3 in beer. So I love it. Back to the racing, though. I mean, these guys up front not allowing Michael Kostick to get anywhere close. And Garrett Kidder going to pull off track, goes down pit road to make what should be his final stop of the race, cutting her in half. And so he's going to do a little undercut, see if he can't make up some ground. You know, man, I don't know what you do if you're Aaron Adcock. He's starting to fade a little bit. but his teammates have done a good job of maintaining this gap. So, you know, I hate to say come on in now, but, you know, I think he can afford to run a little bit longer. I think he can afford to run this thing as far as he possibly can with a big a lead as he has. So, I think if I'm in Aaron's shoes, I'm not coming down pit road unless I see Michael Kostick or Cunningham come down pit road, because they have been really, really good on the long run. So Garrett will likely, if Aaron stays out any longer, I think Garrett will definitely undercut him being able to run wide open. But I think Aaron can afford to wait a little bit. Just once those other guys come down pit road, he's got to go. He cannot wait. He can't let Kostick, Cunningham, Cofield get in front of him. It'd be a tough road ahead if he does that. So we'll see what they decide to do. Kostick, though, all over the back bumper of Alan Nash, trying to take over that third spot. Matt Rogers comes down pit road. You got Anthony Edgerton down on pit road as well. And Garrett Kinder back down pit road. Oh, something happened to the 13 machine. Don't know if he had a speeding penalty or what happened, but he comes down pit road and he is coming back down. I don't know what happened. He comes out of pit road. I didn't see the entry a little bit. Maybe we missed speed penalty. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on, because he came down and got, so I don't know if he had tires unchecked. We'll watch this right here. I don't want to stay too long. I just want to know what's going on, because it's important, I think, to know that. We'll see if any tires, or see if the jack goes up on this 13 machine, because he goes out and he comes right back in. Tires do go up, so I'm not really sure what happened to Garrett Kinder, but he is now 2 laps down, and pit road is wide open. You got Cunningham, Cofield, Aaron Adcock has already pitted. Michael Kostick also have come down pit road, and Kostick is now 0.4 of a second behind Aaron Adcock. Gained a ton of time going down pit road. Now Aaron's going to have to hustle here. Here he is. Coming off of pit road is Alan Nash, Daniel Cunningham. And so now the race so far, coming off pit road, Kostick has done a fantastic job. And now, if we're talking about drama, this is the perfect amount of drama, because I think both these drivers, assuming Kostick has made the minimum races, which I think he has, both these guys need a win to get in. And so this is going to be exciting. Alan Nash, Daniel Cunningham, Tracy Passage, this little group right here, they're just about 3 seconds back from the 2 leaders. All these drivers in the playoffs. So it's pretty cool to see this sort of heavyweight battle here between these 2 drivers. It's such a cool way for this race to kind of play out. Kostick has been really incredible on the long run. And I think if you're Aaron Adcock, it's a tough position, because you don't want to save too much. You don't want to allow Kostick to get around you. But you have to save a little bit. Don't burn the tires off if you're Aaron Adcock, because then you won't have a choice when he comes blowing by you. You want to try to save those tires the best you can, manage that gap, because you know he's going to run you back down. There's no point in trying to pull away, drive so hard that you kind of try to break that draft or the gap a little bit. Just try to manage that. Try to manage it. Don't let him get too close. And then once we get into this tire run, park it on the outside and make him pass you on the bottom. That should be the play if you're Aaron Adcock. See, full throttle, very stable on exit, not putting too much wheel into it, trying to save those tires. You see Kostick drop back a little bit. You actually start to lift a little bit. Try to save those tires. Don't let him out-save you, you know. So if you're Aaron, you just got to manage this gap. You don't want to pull away. I don't think that sounds crazy, but I don't think you want to gap Caustic. You got to know his skill set and know that he is really, really good. So if you start to pull away from Caustic here, you know Caustic is out saving you, and he is very, very, very smart, and make you run your tires off, and then he'll come back and have the. You don't want him to have the advantage to be able to make the pass on the bottom. You kind of, oh, Aaron gets real close to the wall there. You can't do that either. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is if you burn your tires off enough that the outside won't hold off the bottom anymore, then you run too hard. So that's kind of what Aaron's going to have to manage here if we stay green to the end is, hey, I want to make sure that I have enough tire to be able to fight him off if he does run me back down towards the end of this thing. But right now, out to a 9/10 of a second lead. They're running very similar lap times. Alan Nash trying to run them back in, but we'll pay attention to this as the run goes on. We'll go back here. Three-way battle. Daniel Cunningham, Tracy Passons, Cofield, all playoff drivers. Moving on into the round of 8. They're just running a little 3-car draft here, maybe trying to run down Alan Nash here as we get right around 35 laps to go, getting close to 40. Still out on the track is Josh Lokovitz. Don't want to completely not mention it, but he has stayed out now. He pitted 16 laps ago, so he pitted really early, tried a really aggressive undercut. So he is one of the first ones to come down and make this stop in this cycle. So you can see that was about 7 laps earlier than Aaron Adcock did. You can see the difference. I mean, he was out to a massive lead. I thought he stayed out on the track. That's how massive it was. So Lokovitz, though, last lap, he was about a second slower at this point. So he is definitely falling off pretty hard. And it's a great opportunity maybe for Caustic, just depending on what Lokovitz decides to do here. I mean, their tires are going to be so much better. So Aaron's probably going to have to really work for this. It's not going to give it to him. Here we go. Battle for the lead. Aaron Adcock down to the inside. He's going to try the slider. Not quite clear. And he is now. So Lokovitz falls back to second. Aaron going to get clear here. And now Lokovitz going to stick her in the wall as he gets that dirty air that we talked about earlier. That changes how the truck handles. As soon as he got behind that 17 truck, the downforce all went away. So now Caustic going to try the same thing. Down to the bottom. No contest. Caustic, the second. 40 laps to go in this race. Who has saved the tires the best? That's going to be the big thing. I think the race is definitely between these two. Aaron has been lights out fast, led every single lap, but Caustic came from the 12th position. Aaron started in second. So Caustic has had to make up a lot of ground. And Caustic may be one of the most all-around drivers that we have. I would say Garrett Kinder, you can put him in anything, and he will be fast. And I think Caustic is the same way. He is good at everything. You put him on a road course in a stock car, he'll embarrass the heck out of you. I'll tell you that. But I think he can race just about anything and be fast. Just a really great driver. He knows he's really smart. He's very patient. It's really hard to outsmart Michael Caustic. It's very, very difficult. he's got a really high racing IQ. That's for damn sure. Now, at this point, we're already 15 laps into this run. Caustic does have a lot of work ahead of him. He's hoping that Aaron will burn his tires up and it'll make it easy on him. But Aaron has shown that he can save tires just fine as he is making the right decisions when to move up the track. Everybody you see now at lap 15 has moved up to that top side as you're able to keep the momentum up. So Caustic has to continue to chip away slowly at this lead over the next 15 laps. He's got to do it quicker than you think. Can't wait till 5 laps to go to try to run him down because, yeah, he might be able to run him down and put some pressure on him, but then he's got to pass him. That's going to take quite a while here in Kansas. It's just the nature of the beast, fixed setup. Everything's equal. The preferred line is the top on the end of the run. So Aaron has to make sure he doesn't get into the wall. If he does that, he can successfully defend, I think, pretty easily. So Caustic's going to have to make that decision. When does he push up there and start to put pressure on this 17 if he can get caught back up? We saw Caustic get in the wall a couple times. I think he got in the wall again right there. He did. Lost a little bit of time as he gets in the wall, so that's not going to help. But you sit there, look, and go, Eddie, there's 35 laps left in this race. There's plenty of time. It's really not. He's going to need 15, 20 laps, at least, I think, to make the move to try to take the lead. So a lot on the line for both these drivers. It's going to be an exciting finish. I just know it. We'll go back here to this little group of drivers who has made up a good amount of time working together like they have been. Jonathan Cofield, the fastest truck on the track last time by, as Lokovitz has kind of fallen back to the 6th position. But they have made up, I don't know that they made up any time, actually. Maybe a few tenths. There's still 3. Yeah, I think Cofield and Cunningham actually are starting to reel them in just a little bit. Cunningham's 3 seconds back. Cofield is about 3.5 seconds. So I think even if they're saving, that's a pretty tough little deal there to ask out of both of those drivers. So I don't think that's going to happen unless we get a caution. Tracy Parsons almost makes big contact with Lokovitz and tried to make the pass. And Lokovitz, he probably thought maybe Lokovitz was going to let him have it. He did not. And Tracy almost, they may have door banged just a little bit, but Tracy now back down to the inside. Got a pretty good little, I don't know if Tracy can slide up in front of him or not. Yeah, he is. He's clear. So he'll slide up in front of Lokovitz, take over that 6th position. Go up here up front. Caustic ever so slightly starting to reel in the 17. It's about to get good. Both these drivers need a win to get on to the next round. Aaron Adcock missed the race in this round. He's going to have to win. As he is he's sitting 11th in points, but he is enough points back that even if he wins the stage and the race, I'm just not sure if he's got enough. He might end up pointing his way in, but it's not so clear. Stage points, I can't do live points with stage points because that's just a variable I can't account for beforehand. So I really can't. Aaron's going to get in the wall here. He's going to be stuck to it. That might be all that it takes. Caustic down to the inside. That was the mistake that you couldn't make if you're the 17. And he does it here on lap 91. Gets into the wall. He's going to try to drive into the corner. But I think that was exactly what he did need to happen. You can start to see the desperation as he goes down to the bottom, trying to take that spot back. Can he make that inside line work? This is going to be tough. He's going to drive it down to the bottom. He knows how important this is. He cannot let Kostick get out ahead, but that outside line just too strong. Kostick to the lead. And Michael is sitting a little bit ahead of Aaron Adcock in that ninth position in points, but he is 18 points back. I just don't think that's enough, even with a win, to jump over either Brandon Wallace or Alan Smith. Right now, both those drivers are running 9th and 10th. Now it's going to go around Chuck Phelps here. And it looks like we might have another round of pit stops. If that's the case, that's great news for some of these guys. So pit stops happening again. Well, if you got to make another pit stop, Aaron's still got a chance. We'll see if that is the case for everybody, as we have just 25, 26 laps left to go. So I don't know if they're going to have to pit again or not. I gotta think Aaron is just beside himself after making that small mistake, and that's all it took. And yes, it does look like you have to have another pit stop. So here he comes down pit road. Do not want to speed here. He's going to undercut Michael Kostick and try to get that lead back. So there is one more pit stop. So the excitement is still on Kostick. And that might have worked out in Aaron's favor perfectly, because he got to make the choice when he comes down pit road. And now Kostick going to have to follow suit. He can't. I don't think Kostick goes any further than this right here. I think he comes in this time. I'm expecting him to come down pit road. He can't afford to go another lap, and he is not going to. Comes down pit road, trying to get that thing slowed down. You can see the truck kind of shimmy as he gets on the brakes. Can Aaron Adcock, who's coming off of pit road right now, can he get up to speed, get on the track, and get ahead of Kostick? Kostick had him by about half a second on the last pit stop. We'll see if Aaron can do anything with it right here. Cutting it close on that commitment cone. Oh man, that is cutting it extremely close. Hopefully he does not get a penalty for that. Unsafe pit exit would be disastrous for the 17. Here he comes off of turn 4. Where is Kostick? Kostick leaving pit road now, but he's got to follow the access road all the way around. Who's going to beat who off of pit road is going to be so important. Here comes Aaron right now. Aaron Adcock has the lead with just a little over 20 laps to go. Well, at least the lead in this particular battle. Schofield has the lead currently, but he's coming down pit road now. So it should cycle around to Aaron Adcock and Michael Kostick. And I'll tell you, Aaron had these pit stop of his life, 13.8 seconds. That's faster than anybody's had all night long. And he comes out, he has 1.1 seconds faster on pit lane. Aaron Adcock put on a clinic there about how to get on and off pit road. Money stop for sure. Lokovitz pitted 6 laps ago, so he will be in a similar situation that he was before. A little bit fresher tires. We'll see how much trouble he gives Aaron, and maybe Michael can try to catch back up. So made a small mistake getting into the wall, allowing Kostick to get ahead of him, but able to go down pit road and put on a clinic and get himself out ahead of Kostick by 2.3 seconds with about 20 laps to go. That is not enough for Kostick to make up. And Lokovitz goes down to the inside. How hard is he going to race to 17? Actually, looks like he might give 17 the outside. Aaron not quite able to do it just yet. Tires still too new. He's going to get a run here. Looking down to the inside of Lokovitz. Battle for the lead. Lokovitz using the undercut both times to get that track position, but the tires are maybe too new on the 17 as Lokovitz, oh my goodness, slides up in front of him. He's going to leave the door open on the outside of the 17 block. And Aaron Adcock will take control of this race. Lokovitz tried to battle it there, but I think, 4 laps is enough here to where you have to start lifting just a little bit. That truck gets a little bit too tight, and Aaron still had those real fresh tires so he can run almost wide open. You can see the difference. What a great race out of these guys. Kostick has closed the gap about 2 seconds now, but time is running out for that number 4 machine. Brandon Wallace showing in the lead, but has yet to come down pit road. Expecting to see him come down at some point. And we'll give the lead over here to the 17. And just an unbelievable pit sequence there for Aaron Adcock. I mean, a little bit slower the first stop, maybe a little conservative there, knowing he didn't want to make a mistake. And then right there, knowing how important it was to get out front. I mean, just impressive job by the 17. I can't say it enough about, he didn't let Kostick get in front of him, but he took advantage of it. Kostick gets out front. Now he's got the ability to undercut that 4 truck, and I think that's exactly what he did. Then nailed the pit entry, pit exit, and for rolling the dice of the pit stop, he got the dice roll he needed. And I mean, he was 0.6 of a second faster on the stop alone inside of his box. And Kostick was about 1.1 seconds slower on pit lane. So that is going to be the difference in this race if it holds. Michael has gotten to the back bumper of Josh Lokovitz. Looking down to the inside, Lokovitz's tires starting to fall off a cliff here. This should be pretty easy for Kostick. See if he's able to get it done here in 3 and 4. Run sort of the middle line, then drive it down to the bottom to give a good exit. See if he can slide up in front of that 79, and he does. So Kostick now in the second position as Brandon Wallace has come down pit road to make his final stop. And Michael Kostick 1.5 seconds back from potentially a round of 8 playoff spot. That time by Michael Kostick run a 5.21. Aaron Adcock a 5.60. So that's not going to be enough. "13 laps to go in this thing. Aaron Adcock. That time by Michael Kostick. About a 10th faster. Aaron did not have a great lap there that time by. Kostick made up a good amount of time. In these situations, if you're Aaron Adcock, you've got to realize that you have the advantage. There's no tire advantage for Michael Kostick now. You've cut the long run off of the tire run here. You're just not going to run that many laps. And we're already to the point where you can start to run the top. You just can't make a mistake if you're Aaron Adcock. You've got to just calm down, say, hey, I've got to just hold what I got. When he gets to me, then it's just make sure I run the best high line that I can, defend that position, and it's going to be very difficult for Kostick to make this move. But Kostick is laying down some heaters. 0.2 of a second faster that last lap. He's starting to get a little bit of that draft this time. 10.5 faster. So he is definitely making up some time quickly. Now he's burning through his tires he's going to need to make this pass, but he's already seen Aaron Adcock get into the wall, so he knows it's possible. And he has to be close enough to take advantage of it if that does happen. So you try to psychologically Make Aaron see you. Look at his relative. If Aaron's smart, he turns his relative off. You turn the relative off, you don't even pay attention. You run the best 10 laps you can run no matter what. If you're looking at the relative, you're not looking at your line, you may hit that wall. So you turn the relative off, you stop looking at it, you just run the best you can. And Caustic, he's ears pinned back, he is rolling. He is running that top side better than I've seen anybody run it all night long, and he is closing in. Now he has the draft. He's going to get the runs off the top side plus the draft, which is going to allow him to close in even closer. So this race is not over. You can see that gap ever so slightly. Caustic is creeping in there. As closer he gets to that 17, he will get the draft down the straightaway, but as he gets within 3 or 4 tenths, the front end will start to fade on that high line, and he will be in danger of hitting that wall. So he's gonna have the draft down the straightaway, but gonna lose a little bit of downforce as he gets close right here. That time still a 1/10 and a half faster than Aaron Adcock. 8 laps to go. Well, I don't know, but I'm glad that this is an Eddie Game race already 3 in beer, because this is going to be a great one. I can just feel it. Both these drivers have to win. I don't think any one of them. I think Aaron might be the only one. Looking at this, I think Michael Caustic could point himself in. He didn't get the stage point, so I'm not really sure. It's going to be close out of both of them. So, I'm not quite sure either one of them can point their way into the playoffs. Brandon Wallace currently 14. He had a speeding penalty along with Matt Rogers, so he's currently running in 14th, very last position. So, you'll like to finish there. So, I mean, at this point, between both these drivers, points, how that's all going to play out, you got to just let that go, because if you win, it doesn't matter. So both these drivers need to do exactly that. Caustic is there. 5 laps is all he's going to have to work over the 17. The 17 now moving down all the way down to the bottom, using every bit of that racetrack. Look at the draft that the 4's got. Will he make a move here? No. Going to ride right on the back bumper of that 17, daring the 17 to make a mistake. The 17 looking in his mirror. He got to see that purple number 4 right behind him. The 4 looks down to the bottom, peeking out there, trying to make a move. Aaron, I can't stress enough, if you're watching this, Aaron, all he has to do is hit his outside line he's been hitting this whole time. He doesn't have to do anything crazy. Just continue to hit that line, and he should be able to hold him off. But Caustic, very strong down the back straightaway. Got a great run in 3. He might clear him. I said he wasn't going to have a shot. There he goes. Aaron with that big run. That's exactly what he needed. Aaron going to pull out ahead. Look at that run that Aaron Adcock got there to hold him off. And that was as good as opportunity as Caustic had, and almost cleared him. I didn't think it would be possible. But down the front stretch, the 4 going to have a couple more opportunities at this. Going to get a great run here. Will he dive down to the bottom? You can see he's sort of doing a lazy drive down the track, trying to make sure he doesn't kind of bind up there right on the bottom. And you can see not quite able to do it. That corner exit where you have to scrub so much speed off, where Aaron can just kind of unwind the wheel and continue to carry that momentum off of the track. So Aaron doing a great job down to the bottom. Got to protect that outside at all costs. And if you're the 4 of Michael Caustic, I'm trying to bait him into moving down, trying to block on entry for some reason. Aaron Adcock, though, getting real close to the wall. Did he make contact? I don't think he did. I think he had paper-thin gap between him and the wall. He is laying it all on the line. He knows what's at stake here. Caustic does as well. One mistake, and that could be it for the 17. If I'm the 4, I'm trying to sneak down, get down to the inside, force a block, then jump up to the outside and take that outside line away. I don't think Aaron's going to allow that to happen. He's going to open the door. Here comes the 4. Down to the inside. He's going to run the middle groove this time. Still don't think that's going to be enough. Big run off of the corner for the 17. Kosick going to have just a couple more attempts. Going to have to get a good run off of this corner. Right up against the wall goes the 4. I think going to have to help. The 17 actually driving off of the top side. I don't know why he did that. But don't matter. White flag is out one more time for Michael Kosick. Can he get it done? Through 1 and 2, going to ride right on the bumper to get the best momentum that he can to try to make a pass down on the inside. This is the only opportunity that the 4's got here. Can he do something on the bottom? Doesn't go to the bottom. Going to try to use that middle line, try to get a run, but it's not going to be enough. Aaron Adcock comes off of turn 4, and he will win and lock himself into the round of 8. Holy cow. What a race out of both these drivers. Hell, I say put them both in the dang playoffs. Add Jeff Gordon to the ninth driver in the playoffs, I'd say. Holy moly. Whew, I'm sweating. What a great race. And Aaron Adcock is going to burn them down as he led 94 laps here tonight. Just dominated this race. Had one mistake, gave up the lead there, and able to get it back on pit road. Just an incredible, incredible job by boss man himself. But, I mean, no slouch to Michael Kosick, who put in a hell of a drive there. Made it exciting literally the whole race. He's going to come home in second. We'll see how the points all play out once they're posted. We probably won't see that here on the broadcast, but check Discord. I'm sure they'll all be posted there. We'll see if he's able to make up some of that ground. But, you know, it's going to be hard to point yourself in when Aaron jumps ahead of you with that win there. Just incredible. Man, what a great race. It's something about desperation that just really brings out different types of driver. And we saw that at Richmond with Austin Dillon. I mean, just desperate to do just whatever it took. And it ended up not mattering. But in that moment, he was willing to do whatever it took. And Aaron here, knowing what he had to do to get in the playoffs, and goes out and executes it. That's impressive. It's hard to do that in racing, to know what you have to do and go out there, put your mind to it, and get it done. And he did exactly that. So he will move on to the next round, be racing in the round of 8. And let's not waste any time. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to talk to him and see what he thought. We're going to start with the winner. Pull him up into chat. Aaron, this is Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
Oh, I got a copy on you, man.
Man, take a deep breath, man. What a great race. What a great job by you you came prepared and you knew what you had to do. You had to win. There was really no way to point your way in. You won stage 1 and you won the race. I mean, just a fantastic run. And I tell you what, Michael Kosick did not make it easy. Y'all had a fantastic battle. Like, this is one of those you saved the replay so good. But that 17 truck, you got out front early. You wanted to get that clean air, and you did that. Talk to me about that first little run. What were you trying to figure out? What were you trying to do there?
Yeah, the first run, I was really trying to figure out how I was going to get around Kinder, and on that first lap, and we both had a really good start to the race, and got real tied up against one another. And he said, "All right, I got my lap led. Go get it." And then after about 2 seconds later, he said, "Never mind, I want it back. Dirty air is horrible." So when he told me that, I said, "Well, now I know what I got to do. I got to run." And yeah, just stayed focused. Tried to keep from going to the top too fast. Because once you get up there, you can't ever get back down to the bottom like you could at the beginning of the run. So just trying to be patient. The new people, like especially Kinder, he likes to ride the rails, be an old dirt ringer, and I was anticipating him going up there early, but he kind of forced my hand a little bit to try to keep the clean track position. And yeah, just I don't know, man. I'm shaking. Got so much adrenaline going.
Hey, I'm just broadcasting. I was sweating, man. That was an incredible race there.
Oh.
You had that. Let's talk a little bit about the middle part of the race where You were holding him off there at the end of that run, and then just made a little bit of contact with the wall. Uh, you didn't have a great stop that first one. So I don't know if you were being conservative or what happened there, but then you made contact with the wall. But then the decision right after he gets around you to go on down pit road and do the undercut, was that all planned? I mean, I know you didn't plan to hit the wall, but were you being conservative on that first stop? What happened there?
Man, I was the first stop. I downshifted into first, getting into my box, trying to help blow the truck up so I didn't lock the front tires up and slide. And I guess I was zoned out, looking at something, looking at the relative, looking at this, looking at that. And then when I dropped it into first gear, I had my RPM still just a little bit too wound up, and the back end of the truck kind of kicked around on me, so I kind of had to save it a little bit and get it into the pit road, into the pit stall, so the guys could put tires and the fuel in it. And man, I just ran, and I noticed he was catching me, and I guess you get the mentality of, I know he's good, I know he's gonna give me everything he's got, and just don't mess up. And I brushed the wall, and as soon as I touched it, I said, well, that's the race. That's all he needed to get me, and I won't be able to do anything about it. And Tracy told me, he said, "Hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Dig, keep doing what you're doing. Been doing all night." And I was able to stay close to his bumper, closer than I anticipated. And pay window opened up. I said, "Well, I'm gonna undercut him. I'm gonna just have to run and hope he can't catch me or has a bad stop." And felt good with a 2 second lead, and then it just started slowly dwindling down. And the more I looked in that mirror, the closer he got. And yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna give him the top. I've watched too many folks in real life lose one by giving somebody the top. So I heard sheet metal banging, and I just kept on kept on throttling. With about 3 laps to go, and so that's all I got, boss. I'm whooped.
Well, first win of the season, and it comes when you had to have it the most. And so, congratulations on that win, man. Moved on to the next round, and man, it's always floor's yours. Who you got to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Apex, Jimmy at Apex Sim Racing. Anything you need sim racing related, button boxes. He even has steering wheels, direct drive pedals. Build your own, anything you need like that. I know you've said before, get you a button for your ceiling fan.
Mhm.
Just anything and everything. Uh, American Grid Apparel Company, my buddy Mike and Chris out of Atlanta, Georgia. Appreciate them coming on board this year. Check them out. They got a lot of great blue collar working men and women t-shirts for sale on their website. Um, all the guys here that show up each week in the league. V-Speed for the broadcast each and every week. Appreciate everything you do. Poman Motorsports, all my guys there. We finally got the balance of the truck right as playoffs got kicked off good. So hopefully next week we can load up a good truck, take to Talladega, and hopefully bring it home, not looking like a crinkled up beer can. But yeah, all the co-affiliates, Low Cash Motorsports, and Chuck Pegleg, and everybody that sponsors the league, everybody that shows up week in, week out. Appreciate y'all. And I want to dedicate this one to my little girl and my grandmother. My little girl had a little breakdown earlier tonight. She was missing her grandmother and her great grandmother, and kind of had that on my mind all night. And she rides on the deck lid of the truck with me each week ever since she passed. So I want to dedicate this to her. And right before I got on the rig, my little girl told me, said, "Daddy, go win one for me." So it's a lot of pressure when a 5-year-old tells you go win a race. So I'll wake her up in the morning and let her know the good news. And all my friends and family out there, appreciate them watching. That's it.
All right. Well, we love that. Aaron Adcock wins, and he's in to the round of 8. And I've been saying all race, I didn't know if Michael Kosick has made the minimum race. He's already in the playoffs. I mean, it's right there in the point standing. So he did need the win. We'll see once the points kind of shake out how this all goes for him. But let's talk to him, see what he thought about this race. Michael, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, I know you're probably going to be bummed, but I gotta say, man, it's been a while since I've sweated watching a race. I don't know if that's just me on bad health or that was just damn good racing, and I'm going to go with the latter. Maybe column A, a little column B, who knows? But man, what a great race you had. You drove all the way from the back, got up to the front, used that stage brake to kind of reset. And dude, you were hauling ass on those long runs, and you were able to run down Aaron and get ahead of him for one of those stops. Talk a little bit about the early part of the race. What was it like trying to drive up through the field and inevitably get up towards the front?
It was fun. Just kind of playing with traffic, figuring out which line was best, when to shift up high. Um, it was just tough to pass there near the end of the run, so you kind of force somebody into a mistake. But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun driving through the back, but probably when I'm in a must-win situation for playoffs, I should probably qualify.
Well, whatever, dude. You were up there. You were up there battling for the lead the last half of the race. So I don't know if that is true. I think it seems to help some folks go in there and just kind of get their mind right in that first stage. And it seemed like you did just that. You were hauling ass up towards the front, and you were able to get right to Aaron. He made that mistake. You did a great job on the pit stop. The first pit stop was unbelievable. You made up so much time on him. And then he gets into the wall. You get around him. He kind of rides behind you for a little bit and then undercuts you. Was there any thought of trying to go down as soon as possible? Were you surprised he pitted when he did? What was your thoughts there as he goes down pit road?
Um, I was planning on pitting a lap after him because usually the undercut does not work in the trucks, but I don't know whether I got on pit road real bad that last time or he got on real good, but he came out with a massive gap, so I was just trying to run him down, but kind of save tires for a battle at the end. So it was kind of a tricky game to play there. But yeah, I mean, it's just trying to force him into a mistake, but he's pretty smooth when he's driving, so it's tough to get him into a bad situation.
Yeah, it came down to those last few laps, and the people in chat were excited. I was excited, and we kind of knew that it was going to be tough ass to go around the inside if he parks it on the outside, just the way this track works. But there was a couple times you almost had it clear. Outside of a mistake, do you think it was possible you make that pass on the bottom?
Uh, no, not without taking a chance of sliding up and putting him in the wall or something. Just kind of risk reward there. It's just too tough you can get. I think I was like probably to his front fender with my back wheel, but he just gets such a good run off the corner that you just can't do nothing once you get to the next turn. So yeah, I think I just needed either to get him in a mistake or get a real good run off four and kind of sneak to the high side, but I couldn't get that good of a run. So it is what it is. Fun race.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the points shake out. You were pretty far back on points. With Aaron winning there, that kind of jumps and pushes that cutoff a little bit further down. So we'll see how that plays out. I think it was you and Aaron really were both in must-win situations, which I thought was so cool because you both were really dominant. But I'm not gonna keep you forever. It was a great race, one of those that we'll remember for a while, and you were a part of it. So, man, just thanks for putting on a good show, and congratulations on a second place finish. Who you got to thank here tonight?
Thank you for doing the broadcast and B-Speed, Apex Sim Racing, and American Grid Apparel, all the other sponsors, Aaron and all the other admins for doing all the hard work, and my teammates at Bandits.
All right. Well, there you have it. Second place finisher, Michael Kostick. And, he's been waiting patiently. And so we'll get him up in here. Daniel Cunningham comes home with a third place finish after starting almost damn near dead last. And I tell you what, I want to first off say that paint scheme is perfect. It's a great looking scheme. But tonight, it was all about your teammate. You're pretty solid in the playoffs. You're sitting second pretty much. About right in the top five at least in points. Pretty solid moving on to the next round. Started in the back. What was your kind of thoughts early on? What were you trying to do?
First, thanks for the compliment on the paint scheme. I didn't know if you would like it or if you think it was the most hideous thing that you've seen out there. So that answers my first question that I had. So yeah, I mean, I knew I pretty much had the next round locked up. So it was just like, let's start in the back and have some fun. See, we drive up through the field. The first run, I was trying to focus on saving a little bit of tire and really running the bottoms. It seemed like the top you could burn the right front off pretty easy. I probably went a little too far with it as far as being conservative that first run, because it was definitely hard to pass once you got a few laps on the tires and the top groove came in. But yeah, it's still a fun night though. I mean, the smaller fields starting in the back and working your way up. Kinder and I were talking about that in the waiting room a little while ago. I mean, he ran an entire season in other series that way, and I can see why, because it's just fun racing around everybody and, you know, just trying to see if we can make things a little bit exciting for you.
Well, hey, that was definitely exciting as Caustic and Aaron both. They kind of stole the show. I mean, you quietly got a third place because there was so much action going on up front. But it seemed like you were really fast. Cofield was kind of following you up through the field. I think maybe y'all started up front. Y'all would have been, you know, major players in this race, but still a fantastic race out of y'all. A good finish for you. Looking forward, you got a lot of momentum going into the round of 8. Got to make that final 4. How you feeling about the next few weeks as we move further into the playoffs?
Oh, let's see. I should probably know what the schedule is before I answer
Talladega,
that question.
Homestead, and Martinsville.
So let's see. Crapshoot. I'm not very good at Homestead and Crapshoot. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, luckily Talladega, Cofield seems to kind of be like Dale Jr. there sometimes. You just kind of follow him around and good things tend to happen. So I think that might be my strategy for next week, is just wherever that 58 truck goes, I'm gonna stay behind him. If he decides to go into the infield and go find a hot dog stand halfway through the race, I'll follow him down there too, because it's probably the right strategy. So and then Martinsville, we all know what Martinsville is going to be on the last race. So last race for the round rather. So yeah, we're just going to send it and see what happens.
All right. Well, man, congratulations on third place here tonight. Who you got to thank?
Yeah, appreciate you doing the broadcast as always. And thanks to Aaron, the admins, Apex Sim Racing for sponsoring the league. I know we've got other league sponsors. I should probably have those memorized by now since we're getting down to the end of the season, but I always forget what they are and where to find them at. Appreciate all my Bandits Motorsports teammates, Ghost Energy, SM Race Products, and yeah, that's all I got for tonight.
All right. There you have it. Third place finisher, Daniel Cunningham. He's moving on to the round of 8. But, man, that was a great race. I mean, y'all didn't pay a dime for it, but you got your money's worth. I'll tell you that for sure. Let's take a look, see where everybody finished here tonight. That was your low Po-Man Motorsports post-race interviews. Let's see where everybody finished here tonight. Whoop. Spoiler alert. Aaron Adcock, you see there, 1 caution for the stage break. Green flag racing from there on out. Pretty amazing. Aaron Adcock takes the win. Caustic comes home in 2nd. Cunningham in 3rd. Jonathan Cofield, your 9-time winner, comes home in 4th. Alan Nash in 5th. Josh Shook in 6th. Gracie Bassett in 7th. Charles Stevens Jr. in 8th. Alan Smith in 9th. Chuck Phelps rounds out the top 10. 11th, Garrett Kinder. 12th, Tony Edgerton, Matt Rogerson 13th, and Brandon Wallace. With those, Matt and Brandon, with those speed penalties, going to finish 2 laps down. It's tough to overcome when a race goes green like that. So great race out, everybody. I want to thank our sponsors again, Apex Sim Racing, and all those who support the Apex East Series, and of course everybody watching in chat to support us. Definitely appreciate that as well. If you're not subscribed to V-Speed, you don't get on YouTube that much, you just watch V-Speed broadcast, well, hey, subscribe. It doesn't really matter. Get those views up on different leagues, kind of cross-pollinates. Does a nice solid for everybody. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. That way we can see the support. It gets us in the algorithm a little bit more, and people can see your races. That's pretty cool. So, but for Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, everybody over at V-Speed does a really good job. I'm Eddie Smith. We will see y'all next week. Talladega Super Speedway. Come on, that's going to be a lot of fun. That should be a wild and crazy one. So, a lot on the line. We'll see who comes away with the victory in the round of 8. See y'all later.